So, Kuala Lumpur Hunters coming up against the EloHell. What are they going to do? What are they going to pick? How do you counter it? And is there some sort of team comp that will work against the EloHell boys as I see them just walking back into their seats?
My opinion is that EloHell, probably Kuala Lumpur Hunters, no, they're worse in terms of, they're worse team probably than EloHell. So if I'm a worse team than the team I'm playing against, I will probably get a going setup as well, with a lot of early game domination. If you get a
Try and get the snowball going.
exactly. Basically, um, those going setups is nothing about control. It's all about if something goes out of control, you're gonna win it for sure.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, well, you already knew you were going to lose anyway, so what do you got to lose?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, that's an interesting way of setting up. Remember, guys, you can ask us questions. It is #IEM on Twitter. Of course, Intel Extreme Masters Singapore is where we are at. I am Lee D-Man Smith. In case you didn't know, it's at QV D-Man. This is Daniel Zenon Klein bringing you the action from Riot Games. And are we public about your position these days?
Let's make it public here, yeah.
Go for it.
Yes, future champion designer.
Yes.
Very, very
so
excited
his
about
new
that.
job at Riot Games.
Yes.
This is a very good job. Yeah. So
Yes.
so we can all, if we see a new long head champion that comes out,
that
way. We'll know
The Rockmaster.
Doesn't work that way.
we'll know where it comes from. If Xenon, the new Rockmaster, comes out, then,
Yeah, that's-
we'll know that we'll know
You're-
he's had
you're
a hand
skin
in that
maybe.
one. And
You're
of course,
skin.
everybody knows Ocelot. So
Thank you.
are you up to 140,000 likes yet? Are you going to be getting close to it?
I'm really close to that in Facebook.
Yeah.
Man. It's just crazy.
What is the Facebook address then? You should plug it.
Facebook.com/always-a-lot-world.
There we go.
And actually, I update it pretty often, same as my Twitter.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
invest a lot of time on making the fans know what's going on. So, yeah.
It's good.
They get to see pictures of you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that?
Who doesn't like that? I can tell you where he's staying, ladies and gentlemen, in
Yes.
Singapore if you come around.
And there is much, much more behind-the-scenes information that we gained about Ocelot in during the cast, but we are not going to go there.
Which we will not air on public, maybe. That's for certain. But
Mean Xenon, man.
means in on. So what are we expecting? Okay, so we're seeing EloHell. We've seen Absolute Legends. It's looking like Kuala Lumpur Hunters are going to come up against them. EloHell looking like they're going to top the group now, which means
Yeah.
Absolute Legends may get second if Kuala Lumpur Hunters don't go and beat EloHell. So how that sets up Group A. Group B. So meet your makers tomorrow. Anyone in there that we think possibly could stop them? We've got the Bangkok Titans, the Itadaka Masu. Easy for me to say. And even Event Potion, Absolute Legends Singaporean team. We don't know what they're going to be like.
We know nothing about the two other Singaporean teams, to be completely fair.
But we do know that Bangkok Titans are
very good. And
bottom of the Garana Premier League.
well, that's still pretty good. It's still, I mean,
It's a good
they're
league.
in the they're in a pro league, which is more than you can say for the other two Singaporean teams in that group.
It's very true. It is.
And Media Makers, I would be very surprised if they don't go 3-0 in that group. To be quite honest, I may be overhyping them, but it's my personal feeling that they have.
Well, they're
a lot
probably
of
the most
potential.
experienced team here.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
of all the teams.
Yep.
They got second in the WCG Korea, so they're a team that's travelled before.
Yep.
ECC Poland, they put in a really good showing there, actually. They were a little unlucky that there was such a good performance.
Right,
Really, all the
right.
teams that went to ECC Poland, I thought, played well. It was a pretty good tournament
Yeah, it was.
overall. So I guess we're kind of expecting those to top the group. Now, the question is who would play who? Because obviously it's first place versus second place.
Yes.
So we would assume whoever gets second place here is going to face MYM tomorrow.
Yeah, and the Polish teams obviously should both be
Or
trying to.
Tomorrow? Whenever it's going to happen.
No, def tomorrow.
It'll be Group B
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Both Polish teams will be trying to get first place in their respective groups because they they obviously don't want to knock each other out in the semis. So I think they would be quite happy to have an all Polish grand finals here, and I think Carmack would be pretty happy about that as well. I somewhat expect EloHell to win this against the Kuala Lumpur Hunters right now, which would mean they would be first in their group. And like I said, I do expect MIM to win their group tomorrow as well. So it is absolutely possible that the Polish teams will only meet, if at all, in the finals. As for the rest of the teams, I would probably assume Absolute Legends are going to go through as the second here in Group A, and probably going to be Bangkok Titans as well then. Well, that's
So
that's
Kuala
roughly what we're
Lumpur
looking
Hunters
at.
could go out already today. We'll see how that happens. If you are watching, don't forget Twitter #IEM. That's where you can ask us questions here at the Cool Kids desk, as
Cool
Joe
Kids.
Miller keeps calling us. Yeah, the Cool Kids desk.
There's a pretty cool question there, Oslo. Do you want to answer it?
Yeah, so it's also like, would you ever play AP Blitzcrank in a competitive game?
I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, it has to be changed. Something has to be changed for sure. But it's really fun, actually. I've played that in the past, quite a lot, I'd say. And
If you land the hook, they're dead.
yeah,
Pretty
indeed.
much.
But it's
Level
so easy
6.
to dodge a hook.
Yeah. The
Let
problem is
me-
that you have to go full AP, otherwise it's like.
Let
doesn't
me
really
let me
work,
tell
yeah.
you something. Season 3 items, Archangel staff upgrades.
Oh yeah. With the mix it with the passive of
Yeah,
Blitzcrank could be really
exactly.
good.
One thing that is going to confuse people is then boots upgrades. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
going to... And actually, honestly, some of the stuff I've been looking at, for the commentators, it's going to be so hard to actually just gauge, A, whether it's an ability being used,
more
a
stuff to
click of a
arrange.
button. There's so many clicks, iteable clickables, that
Right,
you're going to
more
have to try and
activatables,
check. Yeah,
true.
activatables, boots, checking what
But
people are wearing, the
you see
stats
those
are going to be...
masteries, man. Those masteries where you can reduce the cooldown of those the items you
Activatable
can
items,
use
yep.
by 15%. I think it is. 15% is such a huge margin, man.
That's a big figure.
Like
Yeah, so there's a lot of stats that people like Jat and yourself and everybody else is really going to have to just
Yeah.
completely absorb and know exactly what's happening. Personally, myself, I'd just be lazy and just do the play-by-play. But yeah, I mean, hopefully these guys are going to get them ready, sorted out. Joe Miller's not sat at his desk, and the teams are not at their desks at the moment, so I don't think they're going to be on the stage. I'm trying to look around to see whether EloHell are. I did see them walk past earlier on, but they've completely lost me. So I don't
Okay.
know where in the hell they...
Well, I have good news for you. We are allowed to go to a break real quick.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mhm.
That's wonderful news. It's good to know this. But
I'm stopping.
so we'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be EloHell versus the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. That will be the next match.
Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. Are you guys ready for our next match? Yeah, that sounds really ready, guys. A little bit louder. One more time. Are you ready for the next match? Thank you. It's very polite. Very polite. To my right, you might recognize them because they just won the last game, and I'm pretty sure they're undefeated in the tournament so far. From Poland, EloHell. And their opponents, kinda local, but not totally, from Kuala Lumpur, the Hunters. Good luck, have fun, guys, and I'll pass it over to our analysis desk with Demon.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, joining me is not just me. I'm not doing all the analysis
I
on
was
my
about to
own.
say,
It
with
is-
Demon
yeah.
and the other two
Yeah.
guys.
It is Daniel Klein here, also known as Zenon the Stoic, and of course Ocelot. I could go through your whole name as well, but you know, we'd be here all
Carlos
week.
Rodriguez and Tiago.
It's about the Spanishest name you could ever come up
Yeah.
with.
I actually got like
it's,
five,
it's like
six
the
last names
equivalent
of
of,
him.
it's the equivalent of being a Smith in English, which is what I
Yeah,
am.
probably, yeah. Carlos
Yeah.
Rodriguez and Tiago is like the Spanish name.
Yeah.
The Spanish name.
Yeah, but enough about the names. Let's get into the game, and it is going to be EloHell versus Kuala Lumpur Hunters. EloHell looking very good this tournament. They come into this confident and honestly overpower in the middle. He's only died once so far.
Yes, and that was because he was very, very, very silly on his
Yeah,
control.
he
Yeah.
got a bit
Needlessly
cocky.
silly. And they definitely want to take this group first. I'll just point it out again. The two Polish teams have the chance to win their respective groups, and that would mean a potentially all-Polish final, which of course would be a big national pride thing
Yeah.
for them. So I'm pretty sure they're going to try their very, very best to come out of this group 3-0 and assume that Mim will do the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing for them over there. I mean, I remember when they did well before.
Yeah.
It was the Polish papers even picked it up. So it's a big thing for those guys. I mean, especially the fact that they've travelled here to Singapore. They probably had quite a long journey, I guess, from Poland. I mean, it's a pretty long flight from there. Probably about the same as us, I guess.
Yeah, must be about the same. And remember, Lee, when we were in Warsaw for ECC Poland,
Yep.
I would say the audience there was probably one of the better audiences I've
Oh,
seen.
yes.
I've not been in Paris. I heard incredible things
Oh,
about
Tales
the
of the
Tales
Lane
was
was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the Polish audience was also absolutely
Yes.
amazing.
I remember, man.
And they filled the lobby. It was like you couldn't move through the lobby, and that we had to stop letting people into the actual cinema. So I am really
And
looking
EloHell had a big following there as well.
Absolutely,
they
yeah.
did have a big following.
But
in
that was,
that
of course,
tournament.
the old EloHell team with Shushe.
Shushe,
Cole.
yeah.
Yes.
There's only really Shushe that's changed. There's not that many that have changed.
No, I think it's a completely
Is
new,
it a complete different
Yeah, it's a
change?
complete
yeah,
different.
it's a completely new
I think so.
different team. Yeah,
I'm
they-
absolutely saw it.
Yeah,
One of the guys I just saw on stream there,
that-
I was like, I recognize him from Poland. Maybe he
Yes.
was in a different team.
Maybe
Yeah.
he was in. Yeah, I think he was it the Polish ASA team. Yeah, I think he might have been in ASA PL.
Yes, it was. Is that
Mhm.
Arkwell?
That's Arkwell. Yes,
It is
exactly.
Arkwell.
Yeah.
Ah, you see, I do recognize
You
these
were
names.
kind of right.
Yeah, I was kind of
Exactly. So yeah,
right. I remember having a beer with that man at least. That was why I recognized him. I was like,
That's what you
Sure,
remember.
I've seen him in the
I
bar
like
before.
that, yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back to Poland. Obviously, we are gonna go back to Poland.
we are
So-
going to go back to Poland.
Yep,
Poland Intel Extreme Masters is going to go back
Oh
to
yeah,
Poland.
looking
Of
forward,
course,
man.
that
I
is
am
happening.
Looking
that.
forward, man.
And also IEM Cologne as well is coming up. That's the December 14th to 16th, so that should be an interesting one to watch. But right here in Singapore, it is at the Cytex Expo, I believe it is the fuller name of the area.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just got on a train. I followed Jarrett. Jarrett, who just introduced us. He guided us round for a little bit. It took us a while to find this place. We've had a good walk around all the halls until we
Nice, good.
finally got here. And I think he just wanted to give us a guided tour. That was what it was.
Oh.
He's a Canadian, you know. Maybe he got lost. I'm not sure how it works out. But nevertheless, the teams are both sat there. They're ready and waiting to go. So without further ado, hopefully they will get things underway and we'll get the picks and bans started. So the Kuala Lumpur Hunters coming into this one. Golden in the mid. He played Lux in the first game. It was the one we first
Right.
opening game of the day on
Yes.
stage against Absolute Legends. Didn't really work out too well for them.
Yeah, Lux just fell behind. Didn't have the damage that she needed to
Eight
have.
started.
But it was like Ursula pointed out a couple of times. It was just completely a setup disadvantage. And we are now in. And Lee, what's the first?
Well,
ban?
yeah, it's not surprising to see Kuala Lumpur Hunters banning Katarina against EloHell. He's just gone. He's got to be.
Oh, no,
He's got to be nearly 20 kills already.
Yeah, must be. Diana banned as well, and the Xin Xiao ban. I'm just gonna
These
take
bans-
that one.
Make a lot of sense. Like right now, I'm looking. I'm looking at the bans I will do basically.
Yeah.
Like for both teams.
Yeah. What else would you do as EloHell?
I think the Karin and Jin Zhao ban are extremely good. And if I want to pick Malphite, I will rather ban Maokai than
Mhm.
anything else. But I don't think they should focus on that.
Yeah, okay. The Lee Sin is a standard ban still at the moment. You can have a lot of impact.
Such
in the
a
early
strong
game.
champion
Yeah.
still. I
Yep.
mean, in the right hands with a top player, Lee Sin can be just devastating. Even in the middle.
Oh yeah, as Flogging
he's-
showed.
It's really OP, and especially against really squishy targets, it works really well.
Yeah.
Problem becomes afterwards when people get ammo and stuff. But yeah, for early mid,
Cillian banned again.
Again,
Kuala
I don't
Lumpur
get it.
Hunters have banned him before, and
It's
what was it
something
again?
they don't want to be
yeah.
against. Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
just, and there's the Shen ban. Okay, so Malphite is open, Jace is open,
and Maokai is over.
and Maokai is open.
So
yeah,
watch out with the first pick Malphite.
Right, yeah, that's true. Good point.
And they cannot pick Malphite and Maokai because that is a lack of damage, a huge lack of damage.
Right.
And it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Maokai
yeah.
is the anti-going, Malphite is a going. I'm not sure how it will
Negative
work out.
synergy. would
Yeah,
be
negative-
the-
yeah,
the
indeed.
term there.
and they only get one pick.
that is a good first pick.
No, and there is the Malphite first pick, even though Maokai is open. The question, though, is we've only seen EloHell use this sort of counter mentality. I don't even know if Kuala Lumpur Hunters are aware of how important a counter pick Maokai is to the Malphite.
So, in my opinion, it's pretty obvious that KLH will most likely go for Maokai jungle. That is the most obvious thing. So at least you know that Nunu is support. How can you counter Nunu with Zara? Zara and Zona most likely destroy Nunu.
Zyra is it's one of the
So-
strong lanes we've seen probably the last 3 or 4 tournaments that
hear
have
people-
been online. That
people
everyone's
underrate.
been using Zyra as support these days. I mean, Gozu Pepper uses it a lot now. It's kind of his new go-to champion.
Yeah, she's probably one of the most used supports right now, and people actually underestimate her so much. I don't know how. I don't know why, because she's really strong.
And Graves has been so strong for EloHell so far. He's been used
Yeah.
in the last 2 games, and now again locked in. And Vayne and going to be so Vayne Nunu. That's the throwback to season 1.
Vayne Nunu, of course, the synergy there being that the Silver Bolts just needs, and there is the
course,
Maokai, well called as a lot. the Silver Bolts just need attack speed, and you get so much free attack speed from that Blood Boil from Nunu, so it's obviously going to be that very strong bot lane there. The question is now, who is Grace going to take for his support to shut down that Vayne and stop her from snowballing? Also, are you expecting an aggressive support to help shut down the Vayne?
I would go Zona to help the synergizing with Malphite. Zara works as good, most likely, but Zona brings you a little bit more control when it comes down to, because you are the heal basically.
Yeah.
So I will pick Zona, but yeah, both Zara and Zona are extremely good. And against this is a huge problem, as I said, like picking Nunu, making it obvious that it's gonna be Maokai jungle is, I don't like it at all. Because the opponent will know you have a Nunu support.
But what can the opponent do now? So Sona is enough already to
yeah,
throw
Sona
him
is
out of
really,
lane.
really good against this setup. Extremely good.
And there she is. Look at that. You know what? You should do this for a living.
You should play this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I should play this game, you know.
And you just mentioned earlier you are going to transition over into the role of also doing a lot more the setups for the Team SK Gaming.
Yeah, I will start doing it from now on.
Mm-hmm.
I started lately a lot of like, my experience gave me a lot of insight.
That's very, very cool. We're going to have to see what comes out of SK there for the Championship Series. I'm going to be
Hopefully.
watching that.
So the first Skarner jungle of
Oh,
the
yeah.
season we've seen so far, in Singapore. Such a strong champion, even with the fix, I guess you could say, the fix. We are in the Elites patch now, so the fix is now in there. It was this patch it went in, wasn't it? To prevent the flash hooks.
Yeah.
Yes. If the target moves out of the range of the ultimate before the cast finishes, then it will refund the mana and the cooldown basically won't go through. And obviously he's gonna want to grab that Vayne, and I'm liking the Yorick pick here. And
It's perfect. If
Yorick
they pick that,
Karthus
it's
Vayne.
perfect.
Wow, that is really strong. So Yorick can keep either Karthus or Vayne alive, or
Karthus
give
is
them extra life.
Karthus is really, really good, as well as Vayne with Yorick. But it's not only that. If you have a go-in setup and you fight against Karthus, the Karthus passive makes it literally like nonsense, you know? You go in to die, basically. And it actually happened most of the time when people started playing Karthus, that the go-in setups were actually the most used ones, and it was just, Karthus wrecks that.
But is this really a full go-in setup? Because so far I only see the Malphite.
Yeah, but with Skarner,
Right.
Malphite, Zona, you just rely on that. I mean,
Is
it's
it
a
gonna be
really, really good
Orianna
engage.
coming out here, maybe?
Yeah, Orianna would be really perfect, but
Yeah.
with Orianna they lack on damage early mid-game.
Right. What else could they pick though? Diana is not open.
Fizz will be really good, Gragas will be really good,
But
Ari will be really
let's
good.
talk about Fizz for a second. Fizz is such a special character. He plays so
Really.
differently. You really need to have specific training on Fizz, because otherwise people just don't. I mean, I heard Skara say that Fizz is a great pick, but no one actually in the NA scene, for instance, put in the time to actually learn Fizz because it's so hard. And in the U scene, other than Taps, who plays Fizz?
It's not about that. The thing is that Taps has so many games with Fizz that it doesn't really matter. He picks a third pick or whatever.
Right.
But Fizz is done, as well as Nidalee mid, for a last pick champion. So right now, you pick Fizz and the opponent says, oh,
Well, I'm
oh,
screwed.
Basically you just...
What?
And now they're saying, oh. I'd certainly say, oh, because that could be AP Malphite in the middle, maybe, or...
Oh yeah, it's a Malphite, probably.
Does Bruiser Jax in middle work?
No,
Because-
not liking
No.
it too much.
No.
Not liking it too much.
Interesting.
Let's see where this will go, because currently Overpower is going to be
No,
on a
no,
Malphite.
yeah.
Okay, he is going to be on a Malphite. So we are going to see an AP Malphite in middle there with a top lane Jax.
With the top lane
Okay.
Jax versus the Yorick, that makes sense. Obviously, jungle Skarner's almost inevitable, but definitely a different setup we could see here from EloHell. So showing their hand a little bit.
All I can say is that EloHell has to outplay a lot the opponent to win this game, because there's the setup they got doesn't make any sense against
Just very quickly,
Against
Karthus versus Malphite mid lane. Who wins?
Malphite by far.
Okay.
That is going to be the difference. How much can Malphite make a difference?
How much can he do? What can he do? What's the damage going to be? Joe Miller and Jason Kaplan will take it away. It is going to be EloHell versus the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Down to our final group game of today.
Yep.
Actually, in the tournament area right now. Wow. So yeah, just looking over to Armageddon's screen, they're actually sat right next to the camera there, and I can see that Absolute
defending- they've
Legends
lost the
are
inhibitor.
already in their base. I can't quite see the timer on it just yet, but I'm assuming that Absolute Legends are going to win that game, which means Kuala Lumpur Hunters have to win this game. If they lose now to EloHell, they are out. However, if they do win this game, we'll actually have
A three-way tie.
2-1, 2-1, 2-1 tie, which means the time of that game, Absolute Legends, which Demon is totally going to go and have a look at the time and then let us know. Good job, Demon. And we'll figure all that stuff out. But that's all ifs and buts, because this game between between Kuala Lumpur Hunters and EloHell is, well, also going to mean a lot, because if Kuala Lumpur Hunters win, then we could have that three-way tie. If EloHell win, then it doesn't matter anyway. That would mean Absolute Legends and EloHell going through into the next round of the brackets. So let's give you a quick rundown of the teams then. For Kuala Lumpur Hunters on the blue side, we have Golden on Karthus, Don Murray on Maokai, Jae-young on Vayne, Hagana on Nunu, and Monkeys on Yorick. And for EloHell, we have Woolight on Graves, Arquel on Jax, Overpower on Malphite, Elendix on Sona, and Zazas on Skarner. And what are we going to go for here at the start of things? Vayne up towards this middle lane. Maokai going to be starting off by his blue buff by the looks of things. Doesn't seem to be too much in terms of invade. We do have one ward down right now on this side of the jungle, which has been obviously placed by Kuala Lumpur Hunters just to give them that vision as to where Skarner will be starting out. But seems like a pretty standard start here, Jason.
But we're going to get a lane switch, though. Graves and Sona heading up towards the top.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I thought she was going to put the ward down for Jax, since Maokai early ganks are really devastating, but just with boots, ward, and 2 health pots going to be in that top lane. And a very interesting setup, because Yorick looks like he's actually going to head down to the bottom lane as well, so we're just going to see AD carry supports in the top and solo leaders at the bottom. And Joe, what do you think about this AP Malphite? We heard in the analysis desk, it's a really risky pick, but what do you think?
Well, one thing that we do need, first of all, is game sounds, because I don't actually hear anything currently. So what was your question again? Sorry, I wasn't listening to you. I was thinking about
the AP Malphite. They talked about the analysis desk, and they thought it's risky. What do you think?
Risky, yes, but as Ocelot said, you know, it's going to be down to how much Malphite can really bully this Karthus in this middle lane.
It forces Karthus into items too, because he has to get tanky enough. With an AP Malphite that just ults into him, he can pretty much solo Karthus himself. So we're going to force him to a couple of items, but then again, I mean, as Karthus against this kind of team, you want to get a Catalyst into a Rod of Ages anyways. But Overpower getting harassed a little bit there, and I mean, it's Overpower. We saw his Katarina quite often say, played extremely well. Haven't seen him on Malphite just yet. Someone Fiddlesticks quite a bit in the qualifiers, but I should have Vayne actually in the bottom lane right now, as we do see Monkeys teleporting to the top. So just a quick lane switch happening there, and Jack's gonna have some hard times here as Jae-young is actually going in.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they'll go for this aggression early on. Obviously, in that 2v1 lane, you want to be zoning out that single player at all costs, really. I mean, Yorick, yes, he's got those ghouls, so going to have a better time of farming in this top lane, in this 2 versus 1 lane. But we'll see how it works out on both sides of things. And we've talked about Vayne so often as well, that she just gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as the game goes along, which, you know, could be a bad thing for EloHell, depending obviously on how long the game itself will end up lasting. As we do see Zazas coming in,
Monkey's
and
low.
we are going to be seeing a dive by the looks of things at level 3 or level 2 even, the AD carry support lane in this top side, as Monkey's here starting to feel a bit of pressure. Here comes Skarner out. What's his chances here? He's got to actually just hang on the turret and hope for the best. First blood going to be picked up by Graves, and it doesn't get much more perfect than that.
That was
first
perfect.
blood coming onto your AD carry. So perfectly executed by EloHell.
And Elendix just tanked the tower perfectly, got out, and then went right over to Graves. So much damage happening there. And yeah, very well played. That first blood can be very key in this top lane, as they already have the tower down to 3rd health, Joe. I mean, they could take this right now if they wanted. But we do have the bot lane. Jax is getting harassed quite a bit there. Oh, EloHell, I'm really curious why they haven't taken it yet, because then they can start to roam around and they could switch lanes. And yeah, they're just letting those minions get killed, trying to deny a lot of CS, a lot of experience over to Yorick, because, you know, well, then again, Yorick's only useful for one thing, Joe. He's useful for that ultimate onto Vayne. That's about it. Maybe even Karthus, since he benefits really well from it, but that's it. He doesn't really need to get too many items. He just pretty much needs to build straight tanky, and that's about it. Let Vayne carry the rest of the team, and then the Karthus ultimate.
Yeah, his role, especially in this lineup with Karthus and Vayne in there, is going to be to put those in there. As we do see Elendix actually get a little bit low there from the tower. Not too much there, obviously not going to be
I believe that was Arkel in the bottom lane. Jax actually went in onto Jae-young, and I got the stun off, but obviously not going to do enough damage. Especially with that Nunu slow, the attack speed debuff from that. We have to go into that. It's so devastating for Jax, where his key item, his core item, is just a Trinity Force GA. That's all he really needs. But then he has that attack speed reduction, the movement speed reduction. It's going to be really hard for him to stay near anyone. Oh, in the melee, we do have a gank going in, though.
Yeah, that gank coming down, but not quite got the damage. As pulling me away, Jason. I wanted to see that tower die.
But at least you get to hear Jax with the thwack, thwack, thwack on the towers.
Maybe. At some point, if he can get in onto any towers, which, you know, currently he is. If we compare those top lane, they're actually bang even on CS. Yorick did die, giving away that first blood. Jax picking up the Vamp Scepter, which you kind of need because you are going to take some damage, certainly, in that 2v1 lane. And having that Vamp Scepter just helps you out when you're underneath that turret to gain a little bit of it back. But in the meantime, Jax actually has switched back around to this top side, and Graves and Sona are going to be headed into the bottom lane. In terms of CS for the AD, carries 33 to 27 in favor of Vayne currently. So Graves is behind on that one. Just looking at the gold, 1900 to 1400. That's what First Blood does for you.
Currently, Malphite, just check out his ability power, sitting at 4 AP right now. Has that 9% or that 9 flat pen, 10% spell penetration. Kind of interesting. He's obviously going to go into Abyssal Scepter for Karthus, and then they'll, well, pretty much tanky from there, not to mention a little bit of damage. But I'm really curious what's going to happen with Jax here, as he's actually being really aggressive and is going to get caught out.
Yeah, could get a bit caught out here. Did get Monkeys very low, and oh, he stepped down
Teleport
there as though he
coming
wanted to jump in. There is a teleport coming down. Can they get in range? There is a leap strike on towards Don Murray, who, again, I think just thought about it there for a second. Was like, should I, shouldn't I? And the unfortunate thing for Overpower is that he had to pick a minion coming out in the other side.
Sorry, they were really low there. Vayne got very low.
I don't believe you anymore when you say anything, Jason.
Top lane, something's happening, Joe.
I'm there already. As Don Murray is going to go down to this one. There's no chance that he's escaping that unstoppable force with the Skarner coming around as well. Skarner not quite level 6 yet, which is obviously the point where Skarner becomes his real strongest.
The laning phase is gone. I mean, they already got the top tower. They're pushing the second turret. It pretty much doesn't matter. You can, gank bottom lane, but...
Yeah, but still level 6, that's where he's going to make the most difference, you know, with that Impale there to pull, whether that's Karthus in towards Malphite and maybe even Jax who might go in there. But nonetheless, that will leave us at 2-0, a 2,000 gold lead after 7 minutes. Wasn't quite expecting that big of a lead early on as Jae Young comes back into lane and may just have to go back. Here is the ultimate coming out from Karthus, but because Jae Young was so low, yeah, he'd actually backed off there. Karthus had put his ulti down, and here comes Skarner. He's still not level 6, but he's going to go in towards Jae Young. He's full HP anyway. Going to take some good damage. There is the flash over. Zaos is still pushing in there. Again, going low. Will actually be condemned by Vayne, which will save his support's life, but some great pressure the entire map wide for EloHell.
EloHell on this top needs to be very careful right now. Blue buff was taken, but it's very close. Karthus does get the slow on him, Joe.
Yeah, he's going to go surely down here. He's got 3 men onto him. He's going to get exhausted. Will leap strike away onto Overpower. And that is just the obvious commentator's curse when, you know, he's surely going to go down with those 3 guys harassing him. Or maybe not. But here we go. Then they're coming back into lane to try and stop this one. Bottom tower will be going down here as well. There we go. Actually,
so much gold early on.
Yeah, because
8 minutes in, 2 towers.
Yeah, 2 towers down. That third one, I guess, is not super. Actually, it's not lost that much. I thought Skarner had done a bit more damage than he'd actually done. But this overall map aggression that EloHell have really been going for is working out so well for them right now. 8,500 to 11.3 kills with Graves, with Skarner. And you know, they've shut down this Maokai, Yorick. Still, Yorick is in the lead with the CS compared to Jax, but like you said, Jax is another one that he's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger as it goes along.
I think, though, Monkeys, though, he's just flat out ahead. He's ahead in CS, but he's behind in overall gold. But with that heart of gold, he's going to have much more income than Jax, who has a Vamp Scepter, which pretty much becomes useless unless you build it into a Hextech Revolver, or sorry, Hexa Gunblade, which you don't really see too often as a first item. I mean, I believe Hotshot GG usually runs it as his first item with Ginsu's Rage Blade, but I mean, obviously Triforce is what you want, it's what you need. It gives you every stat you could possibly want on Jax, and it really delays his build. That's the problem. I mean, he's not getting much CS right now. 29 CS, 9 minutes into the game. How often do you see that happen?
Well, here we go, and this could widen that gap further as well, as Dragon has been started off by EloHell. There is Smite available for Xaxus. Maokai actually coming around the side, and while they were trying to sneak that one in, but I think in the end decided it's not even worth it. You know, we've got this Goldie giving away a kill or whatever now, and then possibly losing Dragon afterwards was put us right back to where we started.
Yeah, not having vision on that Karthus is extremely deadly. We're trying to go for Dragon. A lot of damage on the Vayne right now, coming out of Sona. Leveling that Q, 3 points in it currently. Going Ghostly Pepper style as he's going to rock into his bush. Does get ulted by Nunu.
Yeah, there's the old Empire style. There is Crescendo coming across. Agana is going very, very low, but he can't chase in there, Graves. He can't keep going, as Sona has somehow managed to escape for now. The Sapling is in chase, but that won't be enough damage to finish her off. Actually surviving with... 80 HP, not so much. But Wu Light there, and that's the thing about Graves, you know, he's doing so much damage because he didn't chase in there. He was able to hold under the tower with the tower hits coming in as well.
Oh,
you
Yorick.
can't afford to push in. Yorick has actually got pretty much 0 mana right now. Arkwell going to get Counter-Strike up. Here comes Skarner as well, and guess what? He's level 6. The Impale surely will bring him right back in underneath that
away right now if he wanted
There
to.
is the turret hit though, and he will go down.
Yep. A little bit of misplay in the bot lane. Actually, Graves taking out Nunu, then falls right over to Vayne. And Graves, I mean, he's put out so much damage. It's kind of pretty crazy considering. I mean, he does so much burst because of his buckshot, because of his collateral damage. He's really dependent on mana, not as much as auto attacks, even though he gets that attack speed buff. And he is against a Nunu. Now teleport coming down out of overpower.
Whoa,
Wow, what a play.
as well. That was max range on the unstoppable force, and Jae Young is not escaping this one. Elendix coming in there as well, and this time he really isn't escaping that one.
It's like, I want to kill you with a rock.
I mean, that teleport, you know, you've got enough time as Vayne there to tumble away. Didn't have his flash up, though, which was one of the big things for him. Kind of surprised that he didn't use his ultimate and actually tumble in a different direction there, because it was kind of obvious where Malphite was going to go when he went into that bush.
He actually did tumble. Just going back to the replay quick, he did tumble right off the bat as he saw that happening, the teleport coming in, but he didn't have enough mana to ulti after that. So he was just basically running with his head cut off. Yeah, great play out of Overpower. He's actually making the teleports work really well. We saw last game, he actually with his Katarina played perfect with it with those teleports, getting I think 4 kills total in that bottom lane from it. And he's making it work this time. The first game we saw them play though, it didn't really work out too well in the beginning, if I remember correctly. But Dragon Bean Star for EloHell going to lengthen their goal lead even further. 16.8 thousand gold to 12.6, Joe. 12 minutes in.
EloHell's first game?
I believe it was.
No, they pretty much destroyed.
Oh no, it was Absolute Legends. Sorry, it's Absolute Legends NA. They had that teleport and just used it too effectively.
But Dragon has gone down. That's a flat 5,000 gold lead. As we are going to see them pushing now. Maybe a bit of danger for Sona as the Twisted Advance comes down. Elendix gets stunned against the wall there with the Condemn. Did actually use Crescendo there. And now Woolite actually is trying to find some help maybe from a team member. There is in fact more burst damage coming down. Carthus ulti will join in. I'm going to go back over towards Graves, who just flashed over in towards the Dragon Pit. He's going to be chased down here by Monkeys. Shouldn't be able to lifesteal his way out of this, but he does have quick draw. And there is a flash from Carthus over the top of the wall. A pretty crazy encounter. Skarner did actually die there as well in the bottom. In the meantime, EloHell are pushing this middle turret down, but now they may get caught behind enemy lines as well. Turret is down, and we have Carthus in there as well. Carthus actually losing a lot of health and will die. And, well, there's a Yorick ultimate coming in as well. We'll keep him alive. Can Arkwell get away? Let's click on
2
him.
seconds on his
2
lead.
seconds on his lead. There is the third and final silver bolt to finish off from Vayne. And that will bring us back to 6-5, but
4 deaths for 2 turrets.
Yeah,
and that map control it gives you, because we always talk about when those middle turrets go down, it gives you so much control in the jungle. I believe they actually had an Oracle on Nunu. No, not Nunu. I saw it purchased earlier. Actually, it was on Skarner, who lost it since he died to Vayne at the bottom lane right there. But the map control it gives you, I mean, Baron will be up relatively soon. Obviously not going to go for it very early, but that control is it's really underrated sometimes by most teams.
Yeah, let's have a quick look down the items there as well. Between the two AD carries, BF Sword, Vamp Scepter, Doran's Blade and Berserker Greaves finished for Vayne. Over with Graves, Pickaxe, double Doran's Blade, Vamp Scepter and the Berserker Greaves. Actually, Vayne just picking up the Elixir there as well, just to give her that bit more firepower when it comes to any fights. Carter's finishing off that Rod of Ages. He's currently 1-0-2. Good amount of CS ahead of this Malphite as well, who currently triple GP10 plus a Blasting Wand and those Sock Shoes. Jack's actually gone in for the Bilgewater Cutlass at the start of this one.
Yeah, so he's committed to that Hextech Gunblade instead of going for that Triforce as his first item. And I don't know. I mean, it's a good item overall. I mean, if I was to build an item after GA, it would be that most likely. But it really hurts him early on. It doesn't give him too much damage. It doesn't really benefit him too much. It won't have a slow off it except the actual use of it, which doesn't last too long. It's going to be quite painful, but I mean, as the game progresses, he's going to become that much stronger. But the only problem is Vayne does the same and probably scales a lot harder than Jax does.
Yeah. We do see 3 men coming in here towards this ward position, and, well, because of that ward, Kuala Lumpur Hunters will back away from it instantly. And the one thing that, you know, this Jax, they're letting him farm. He's having a good time of farming right now, which is like the golden rule against Jax. You can't let him have too much time to be racking up this CS because he does really hurt late game.
Yeah, he does, and curious if he's going to continue building into that. He does have that that Ruby Crystal. Most likely going for a phase. He's just going to hold on to that Bilgewater Cutlass, not really completed just yet. But Skarner actually being pretty aggressive right there with his positioning, trying to catch someone off of KLH off guard. Not going to get it, though. And I'm kind of surprised, though. Overpow, not really building AP. Going to go for an Abyssal Scepter, sitting on triple GP10. Has 6,200 gold overall to Karthus' 4,500. That is a huge lead.
Yeah, and look at the CS difference there as well. He is 102, Karthus 102. And one thing that we noticed before from Overpower, when we saw in the qualifiers, he did a Fiddlesticks build with triple GP10 as well. He was actually a mile behind in CS there as well, but was ahead in the gold, and that's exactly what we're seeing this time around. Obviously, you've got to factor in there the 4-0 in the turrets and the dragon and what have you as well, but you see that those GP10s
Overpower just
really
used his
keeping
ultimate.
him in. Did he?
Yeah, I was like, I thought I heard it, and then I looked at his cooldowns and he used it. Maybe a little misclick on his part.
Well, I'm assuming it was a misclick rather than just like, you know what, I haven't used my ultimate in a while. I think
style
I'll just
points.
do it here to get in the bush, you know, just to TP home again.
Well, we just Skarner, third Oracle of the game for him, just picked it up. We have Vayne picking up her Bloodthirster, and Abyssal Scepter done for a Malphite. So we have a couple
second
of major...
Oracle for
No,
Skarner.
third.
Nah, definitely second.
1, 2, 3. I'm looking at chat. 1, 2, 3.
But he's only died once.
Don't know. It says 3 in the chat log, so maybe it's a little bit of bug there. Don't really have timestamps on, which is actually my bad.
Scumbag Jason doesn't have his timestamps on to let us know. Yeah, but I can't see how that really works, that he'd buy 3 oracles. It must have just double posted or whatever.
Yeah.
So 6-5 in kills, 6,200 gold currently for EloHell, but you can see their Vayne starting to get to that strong point with that elixir on as well. Bloodthirster now finished, round about a 10-12 CS lead currently for Vayne. I see that they're pinging this top turret, so they want to bring a turret back. They've not lost a single one up until now, EloHell. As Jax now has just picked up that Phage as well.
And Joe, last game we were talking about with Overpower and Katarina, the kill distribution. It was 5-0-0. He had all the kills on his team, but right now, look what they have. 2 kills on Jax, 1 on Skarner, 1 on Malphite, even 2 on Graves. It's like pretty much exactly what you want, minus the deaths they have. And they're looking like a very solid team for this late game, which, you know, Vayne, it's up to him to carry the team. It really is. He has to be able to dodge Malphite ultimate. He has to dodge the Sonic Crescendo. He's going to be forced into a QSS because of Skarner, unless he just going to stay really far back, which, I mean, you can do as Vayne because you have Silver Bolts.
And the great thing is they've got a great setup for that as well, for a fed Vayne having Yorick in the team.
Exactly.
Like, you've got then 2 fed Vaynes to come in there and be even more annoying. So they've got a great setup for this one. They still need to work a little bit on this gold deficit that's going on. You know, if they had a team fight right now, I'm not sure that it'd go really awesomely.
They're not forcing team fights, though. That's the weird thing. I mean, they have such a lead right now. Dragon, they're going to be taking right now. But with this huge lead, they're not really trying to force a team fight and say, hey, you know, we're going to force you to fight us. We're going to force you to group up and not farm in these solo lanes, which Vayne and Karthus have both been doing. I mean, Karthus 168 CS to 124, but in the bot lane, he's actually been taken out here. Dives to Overpow. And can he escape this Maokai as Dominated? Not really going to commit to it. That Karthus ultimate is not going to kill him, and that was really a waste. Because now that ultimate's so threatening to have, and when it's down,
Oh,
wow.
There's the pull. Zazas actually pulling Maokai back there. Rest of his team
What
apparently
Crescendo.
didn't get the memo. Crescendo goes across 3 of them. Can they escape this one now, though? Elendix is going very low. Wulak will actually get the heal off and is going to get back towards his tower. Unluckily for him in support, not quite getting the same amount, though. And now they're going to push in there. Nunu ultimate going in. There is Graves, though, from the side, trying to do as much damage as he can. There is an Ignite down. There is the leap strike over from Arkwell on towards Maokai, but Arkwell going very low. One more hit. There it is from Vayne. And that should be the end of that action. Well, that will leave us with a 2-for-1 in the end of it all. Well,
Technically 2 for 2. They got
2 for 2
Karthus.
since Karthus did die right at the start of it as
But that's
well.
still a weird engage out of EloHell. What was the point? I mean, it's like, hey, have a couple of free
Yeah,
kills because they didn't need to.
I'm not sure why Skarner pulled him there. Like,
It was really
the
not
rest
needed.
of the team wasn't ready for it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, this middle tower maybe now in a bit of danger with that Vayne there, with Blood Boil on. Works so great with this Nunu. And that tower will be made mincemeat of. And that will be actually the first tower of the game for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. So slowly but surely possibly bringing themselves back into this one. Dragon is available, but Maokai's over on the other side.
I believe... Nope, Skarner actually kept that Oracle that fight. But we do have a rest, well, at least one member of KLH backing out 2 now. won't actually be able to defend this. Not to mention they have no words, so even more gold in favor of EloHell, and you can't afford to give up these objectives at this point in the game. You're just going to set yourself up for failure. And not to mention Jax, 2/3 done with his Triforce, and has Bill's Rotor Cutlass on top of that. He's going to be so painful, even with the Nunu slow. I mean, yeah, you focus him, but then you have Graves, you have, well, you have Overpower, who actually does do a pretty amount of decent damage, as he has a new large rod now. They're just going to be destroying your team, and yeah, you focus Jax. Once he gets his GA, it's not going to matter at all.
So let's have a look again at the CS quickly, although that laning phase pretty much ended early on, like with those 2 towers going down in the early stages. In terms of farming head-to-head in the lanes, not that much to talk about. But if we look at the items, at least over for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, double Shirelia's Reverie already after 20 minutes of the game. And Joe is a happy, happy man. Zeke's Herald just being finished off there by the Sona.
Well, that's perfect item. Benefits Jax, benefits Graves, and not to mention some auto attacks out of Malphite, who does, some decent damage because of his AoE from his W. From those auto attacks, that brutal strikes. Raquel in this top lane, though, able to defend these turrets, and they lost 1 turret, and it was just mid lane, which, yeah, it is really a big thing because of the map control, but it's just 1 turret to the 4 currently. But KLH trying to make a play on this top lane. Nunu actually sacrificing a little bit of XP here just so Vayne gets a little bit more fed. Has 4 points in Silver Bolts. We'll be finishing that very shortly, though. And Jax, just look at him. He's just farming away. They need to punish him, like you were saying earlier.
Oh, they may
might
just
be the
get him
punish.
behind him. There we go. Condemn will knock him away from his tower. Counter-Strike will only actually catch Nunu in there. And there's the ultimate on Vayne, looking for this kill. And there is the kill. Karthus actually ulti in here. And again, why? Honestly.
A little bit of miscommunication, I guess.
I mean, there's absolutely no reason for that one. Vayne was full HP and... Well, you're not escaping a Vayne, that's for sure, like that.
Yeah.
And
it's just your red buff Vayne with Blood Boil.
It's like Karthus just wanted it. Karthus just wanted it. But anyway, we are seeing Kuala Lumpur Hunters now work their way in towards Baron. There's the teleport in as well from Yorick. What can EloHell do about this one? Let's drop the scoreboard and have a look as the teleport will come down. Arm from Malphite, and that's a great one. Going in, Karthus going low. Karthus actually dropped, but he did have the Yorick ultimate on. There is the first kill coming down onto Sona, and look at Vayne at the back. This is the perfect position for Vayne. Will be suppressed there with that Impale, but that is 4 kills taken. Jax nowhere near the action. Baron taken down, and Kuala Lumpur Hunters 12-9. They're still behind on gold, but that, my friend, is just a matter of time.
Yeah, that's exactly what KLH needed. They got 4 kills, got Baron. They have, well, they're at least getting another turret here, potentially even 2 off of this, and it really opens up an inhib. Almost getting caught
Jax
there.
is farming wraiths, like, yeah.
I was really curious why they engaged, they got a kill or 2, but they had Azazus with his flash up. They had Smite on him too. He was 2 levels lower than Domri at the time, so obviously Smite wouldn't do as much damage, but I don't know. I mean, giving up 4 kills and Baron versus 1 kill and potentially taking Baron away from them?
It was just very, they went in singularly. That was, I think, half of the problem as well. Going in as they take down another turret, that will bring us tight on turrets. But yeah, we saw, I mean, Malphite went in there, yes, great ultimate, the unstoppable force. They got Karthus with that, but
they
then
killed
he's
Karthus
still
in the middle of them, that's the problem.
And he's still in the fight. No, he had Yorick's ultimate on him, so.
Well, I still saw him in the death animation, or that's not the animation,
yeah, that's
passive.
after Yorick's death,
and then
after Yorick's ultimate
of
goes off. So it's like, well, is it really worth it for that single target who's so well protected, plus the time afterwards? Then you've got Vayne at the back who was just ripping through, and yes, Garner, ulting in there, trying to stop this Vayne doing the damage, but that was just a matter of time as well. And Jax in the base itself. I mean, the realistic thing about that is that they probably weren't going to be able to take that Baron away, especially with the Karthus there. So why not let them have Baron and not die?
Exactly. I mean, you can even send Skarner, like I was saying, in there to potentially steal it. I don't know, it's just a little bit of misplay. We do have Death Cap done on Malphite, though, which I believe his AP ratio on his ultimate is 1-to-1. Yes, it is. So it's just going to be so devastating. If he hits Vayne with it, I mean, he hasn't hit Vayne with it yet. We didn't in that last fight. He didn't because Vayne was just so far out. 1v1, and I believe that was Jax and even Malphite who came out eventually for him. If he can hit Vayne, if Jackson can get a counter strike onto her, she's going to die. She's going to pop, and that's it. I mean, yeah, you have the Ghost, which you also shouldn't be too worried about because you will eventually be tanky enough to handle that, and Vayne, will still die very quickly.
And we are seeing them now trying to take down this top inner turret. I'm not sure that EloHell can really defend. Obviously, they can clear these waves out quickly, but Karthus going to push them back just as fast.
Oh, this could be terrible engage for KLH right here if they go for it. Look,
Well,
going to concede
yeah,
the turret.
they're going to back away from that one, not wanting to get into any fights. And look at that, it brings the gold to 600 difference right now, which when you're talking about almost 40,000 gold is not a whole lot.
And it was about 5,000-6,000 earlier too, on top of that. So they were able to close the lead, and Jax getting very close to finishing his Triforce right now. 3 of 3, just needs that extra 300 gold for it. And they still I'm just waiting for Overpower to hit his ultimate on Vayne. I'm just waiting for it. She's gonna pop. Even with the Maokai ulti to stop it, it's just not gonna be enough.
Well, KLH right now doing a good job of taking out these turrets. Looks like they want to tank this top turret actually. It's Karthus and Vayne both coming over there. That's obviously not going to last very long with the entire team bashing away. Actually, the minion wave is pushed right down here at the end, and will continue to push out actually.
So that's all outer turrets.
Yeah, all outer turrets, all inner turrets taken down. Just the inhibitor turrets left alive for KLH to take down. And don't forget, they're fighting for survival here in this one. Currently, EloHell 2 for 0 in the group. KLH are 1 for 1 in the group. If they actually end up losing this one, we are going to see a 3-way tie, because I'm assuming the Absolute Legends won their game. Demon actually never got back to us with the time.
He did not.
Scumbag Demon.
Jinx. Yes. Alright, so anyways though, we have Gray's Infinity's Edge done, has Azeel, going to be building that fan answer obviously. No one really has enough armor to go against him. Vayne has a chain vest, we see Karthus with the Zonias, and Maokai go with the chain vest. But still, Graves is doing so much damage to Vayne, so much damage to Karthus. And I'm just waiting to see like 2 or 3 GAs pop out of nowhere for KLH. If you get that GA now on Vayne, it's over. I mean, you get Last Whisper right after that, and you're deadly. You're pretty much unstoppable in these fights, unless you mess up yourself.
And what do they really have to offer against that? I mean, yeah, you can get in there with Overpower. You can pull him with Skarn, and you can really do whatever you want on that front. But when he's got that GA, he's going to be back into the fight, and you've got the Yorick ultimate. Damn Warwick today. Yorick ultimate to factor into all that as well. So there's just so many options that Kuala Lumpur Hunters have to finish off this game now. But let's not count EloHell out. They've been brilliant today. They have been absolutely amazing, and they were ahead in this game as well, so there's no reason why they can't come back into this one, but it's looking like the Hunters are on a bit of a roll.
And Vayne's GA done now. We see Karthus going for Rabadon's death cap, and the thing is, we're talking about how do you get to Vayne. So you have Overpower's ultimate to get to him, you have Skarn who could potentially pull him, but look who you're walking through. You're walking through Karthus. Defile, lay waste, his wall of pain going to slow you. It's almost impossible to get to Vayne with this current setup unless they catch him off guard. And I mean, Karthus, he's nothing to be laughed at. I mean, he's 367 AP. He's gonna hurt a lot, especially if he gets that blue buff on him. And he's level 16, so his level 3 ultimate. If he leads a fight with that ultimate, or even dies and then uses it right after, he's gonna take 1 or 2 people with him. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and it's just a case of keeping Karthus and Vayne alive. I mean, that locket in there as well. You know, it's not a massive shield, but it's a shield nonetheless. It's an extra, who knows, an extra couple of attacks onto these champions as well. So every little bit helps at this point. And with that Guardian Angel, just scary, scary times. Zonya's on Karthus as well.
Take a look at CS, Joe. For the mid and bot lane, it's very one-sided at the moment.
Let's have a look at the overall gold, though. Look at that, Malphite.
Yeah, GP10. He's sitting on 3 GP10 still. And his Heart of Gold, 655 gold earned. His Philo Stump, 705. His Cage Lucky Pick, 600.
Yeah.
And he's probably running those yellow GP10 runes.
Yeah, we saw that actually from him when he did that Fiddlesticks build.
That was surprising, but it worked out really well for him.
Well, it may just be enough to be keeping him in the game now. There's a DFG being picked up.
Well, that's pretty much a guaranteed kill on Vayne now. Or even Karthus, if you catch him with that ultimate, he's just going to die from it. If he had a Grace ultimate in with that as well, he's not going to have time to get that Zonias off. We do have the Triforce done on Jax.
Yeah, but that's the thing, it's not a kill. Because
on Karthus?
Well, it's not a kill on anyone because you've got Yorick there.
Yeah, but I don't think they want to commit that ultimate to Karthus. I mean, but then again, I think you're right. Vayne does have GA, so it doesn't really matter as much anymore. I mean, she'll get back up eventually. And that Karthus ultimate, it does... Well, not Karthus ultimate. The Yorick ultimate on Karthus is so much damage. But we see right now, EloHell not in position to stop this Baron. I guess they had it mistimed a little bit. And this will be second Baron going over to KLH, taking their gold lead to about 5,000 at the moment. And, I mean, they were already strong before. Vayne was already strong before it. With his Baron going to make her that much more deadly. Going for another Zeal to a Phantom Dancer instead of a Last Whisper. Which, honestly, is smart. No one really has armor currently on EloHell.
Yeah. And this wave going to get pushed out rather quickly as they head off towards this upper inhibitor turret.
Has teleport.
Yeah. Can EloHell defend it, though? That's the question. As you said,
No.
teleport on there. I'm not sure it's worth trying.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention, if you let the inhibitor die, you get the wave pushed into you.
Yeah.
So you get extra guaranteed CS. But the problem is, are you willing to sacrifice that for potential Barons coming later and potential Nexus turrets on top of that?
Well, in the meantime, Yorick done a decent little chunk there. Actually, Jax is going to try and get in onto him and finish off somewhat of a kill here, as we are going to see Shirelia's being popped by him. Actually, is going very, very low. Will use the ultimate on himself and will actually fall here to Jax, who's then just going to walk away. Meantime, we are seeing that big fight happening over on the top side. Karthus with the triple kill. There is going to be a finisher for Vayne. So, you know, Jax, yeah, he's taken down Yorick. Great
At what
stuff.
cost?
At what cost? The rest of his team being destroyed. And now Jax has got an uphill struggle on his hands to try and hold this game out for them. Yeah, I'd say so. 20 seconds for Graves, 14 seconds for Skarner, and well, Jax can't really afford to get in there. I mean, he's going to go for this one anyway with that counter strike up, but you can see he's stood in the defile the entire time. There is the second Nexus turret going down. The Nexus itself is going to fall, and Koala Elumpa Hunters are going to take out EloHell, the team that were undefeated coming into this last game. And I am guessing that sets us up nicely with a three-way tie.
Yeah, very good job by them. They were behind by so much in the beginning, but taking their teamwork, knowing that Vayne late game, they have the advantage, just trying to delay it out a little bit. 31 and a half minutes into the game, had the York ultimate, had that new Blood Boil, and Vayne building double Phantom Dancer is just disgusting. It really is. It's like almost 100% crit, well, about 50% crit, but 60% crit, sorry. But the movement speed you get from it, the attack speed you get from it with Silver Bolts, it just synergizes so well.
Yeah, they had a really great setup there to protect the Vayne, to push the Vayne further with Blood Boil. Just a really fantastic play.
And they had decent disengagement on top of that. The new ultimate to slow them and really separate them out. You had the Karthus slow from Wall of Pain. You had Maokai to keep someone off of you. So they really had great protection for Vayne, and it showed.
Well, we're going to throw it over to the analysis desk. Those guys are going to break down the game, and I'm assuming going to tell us the timings of the other games to find out exactly who will be going through from Group A into the semi-finals.
Well, Joe, that's what you'd assume, but you know what assumption is? It's the mother of all mistakes.
For example.
Well, so we don't actually know the timings yet. Currently, they are actually trying to work them out.
Yep.
So the timings don't matter towards Armageddon. They are irrelevant. That's the way we figured it out, yeah?
Yep, that's correct.
And as you just saying, we're just waiting for Dave Natchkin to come back, the ref of Intel Extreme Masters, always has been, always will be. The man to come back and give us the times. Now, I'm trying to think off memory. Absolute Legends versus Kuala Lumpur Hunters this morning was actually pretty quick and a pretty dominant match. That one dragged out for a while there. And honestly, EloHell should have won that. They threw it, and then Kuala Lumpur Hunters, all credit to them, took complete advantage and then just pushed it and dominated it. Because for a while at the start, they had it in the bag.
Yeah, indeed. Like, they had a really huge advantage. And I think Xenon got a good insight of the game. We were talking about it quite a lot. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, so they didn't have a team that allowed them to finish really easily. They had a good advantage in the sort of early mid game, and then made a couple of mistakes, one that we're going to show you in just a moment. And those couple of mistakes allowed Vayne to start snowballing. And Vayne was really not in, she was in a decent spot at the time, but she was definitely not on the way to snowballing completely out of control. Well, I guess the best thing we can do, just one more thing about the timings then. So it's just going to be those three teams, and we're looking at it right now, but we are guessing it's going to be EloHell and Absolute Legends that will go on. We don't know for sure yet. We are still waiting for the referees to show us that. But yeah, to talk about the game, Lee, I think this might be a good time to go into that.
Yeah, let's get into the replay. So Ocelot is got it queued up at the moment. So what are you showing us here?
So right here, we can see how Malphite 1v1s Kathus. Until that is all good, you know. 1 for 0 is always a good trade.
Yep.
Right now, Kathus just got poked, but he comes back because otherwise they're going to do Drake. So it's actually a normal move, okay? So he's Malphite is waiting here, and then boom. You know Kathus is going to die, no matter what. The question is, how many cooldowns is Malphite going to use before that? He understands he has to use the ultimate. Until that is perfect. Okay, then goes back. all good. And instead of the whole team going back, they don't understand how
Yeah.
the cooldowns work, and they want to go in and flash in and get it all. Just too much. Yeah, just too much.
There's no damage. The cast almost was great because it softened up the team EloHell, and now look at what Vayne can actually do. She has her ultimate on. She's gonna put down great damage on Graves. Flashes for the kill there actually. Graves has to
And
flash
this
away.
is
Doesn't get
game
the kill.
breaking.
Yeah,
They
Sona
keep chasing.
gets
Well, I mean,
killed. Yeah,
Well, the problem there was a lot of ultimates used that were just wasted. So
right.
Unstoppable Force
again.
was used, great, it was a 1v1. Crescendo was used to no avail, almost to save herself. Impale was used, just simply nobody helping out. So there was just a lot of wasted ultimates which have to be used in conjunction with each other, and basically that just steamrolled, and you can see immediately 5-1-2 Vayne off the back of that and straight in there.
And that's not the thing only. Like, not only Vayne got the kills, but they literally killed the mid lane, the mid tower, which is like so important for map control. The map control of EloHell was over until that point.
And they were just at a point where the go-in combo, or at least the Malphite burst damage, was no longer enough to take Vayne out. You said to me at one point, Ocelot, well, the only way for EloHell to win this right now is if they can somehow burst down Vayne before the Yorick ultimate comes in. But that somehow just never manifested.
And what also got me was that fight with Jax at the top, and Joe mentioned it at the time. It's like Jax, who was dead basically, he just had to run away, but he jumped back in. He leaped straight back in. It's just well, that immediately led to Baron. Then they went for that 4v5 at the Baron, and well, you're not going to win it because you're missing your top laner, you've not got the damage, and Vayne just picked them apart. So they just crumbled from there. So EloHell kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit here. Maybe, but just maybe put themselves in trouble in this tournament. I expect they're going to go through top place. I still think they will. They beat Absolute Legends pretty solidly.
We're looking at Dave right now.
Everything comes down to calculations.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, the admins are all got their heads together at the moment, working out the exact calculations, how this one's worked. This is like China all over again. This is Guangzhou, isn't
man,
it?
I remember that. I was sitting down, looking at the admins or the referees. I was like, oh, please.
As a
look,
player,
look at me with a smile.
The
Please
pressure.
look at me with a smile. Please look at me with a smile.
Because, I mean, the pressure you put yourself in, the situation. I'm trying to see whether I can see the players actually around here. I guess, obviously, they were on stage, so just waiting to see. Oh, they're walking along. Do we have boards? We're
trying to get Dave's attention, but it's not working.
don't know which way he's going. Where's Dave going?
Right. We are still waiting for a call there, of course. So that is the big question. But it must be said, even if they don't make it out of the group stage, all due respect to Kuala Lumpur Hunters here, they did a great job.
He's
there.
nodding. He's nodding. Does that mean they need to get the? Oh, this is serious. The bags come out. The calculators are coming out.
No, not yet. They are still doing calculations.
Yeah. Wow. This is tense.
Yeah, we are
It's
taking
really
this
tense.
seriously.
I'm actually shaking almost.
I think that's just the air conditioning kicking in.
The conditioner, are you serious?
It's definitely getting a little bit colder in here now. It's gonna hit us when we walk outside. Ladies and gentlemen, Singapore is very warm.
Warm and humid. Your glasses fog over when you leave.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, you don't. But let me
No.
tell you, it's very fun.
Yeah,
You see nothing.
it's very fun.
If you
It's
start
very fun.
sweating, there's no stop.
Yeah.
So once you start, you don't stop. So obviously the first place, it's going to face second place tomorrow. Now the question is, who will that be? That's the big question. The Group B will be tomorrow, and that will be same time all the way through tomorrow. Meteor Makers obviously going to be the favourites in that group. We possibly would expect them to top the group. I mean, who do you think they'd rather face in this one? Because at the moment they've got a choice of 3 teams.
Yeah.
Well, I really think Medium Makers are gonna go through for sure. I don't know if first, second. I expect them to be first. But it's basically my lack of knowledge of the opposite teams.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's the 2 Singaporean teams who we don't know a great little about in there. Then Potion, been told actually aren't that bad, that they should beat Bangkok Titans.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that they could get to grab the second place.
But Meteor Makers actually beaten CLD EU in the column qualifier.
Absolutely. I mean, Meteor Makers are a
In a
legit,
best of
very
3
strong
actually,
team.
so we are talking about something,
It's not just a
lucky.
lucky one game. Yeah, they beat them in a best of 3, albeit with 200 ping for CLG EU.
Yeah, could be as well, obviously. That counts a lot.
Yeah, it counts a fair bit.
But we actually train against Meteor Makers, and they're really good. They're really, really good. I mean, it's known by everybody, those players,
Yeah, I
Got
mean,
second WG.
they're one of the teams, actually, the lineup that have stayed fairly steady
Yeah,
for a
that's
long
true.
time.
That's really true.
I mean, it's only really been Kubon that's changed on that top lane a few times. I think it was Kikis and Kubon sort of traded places a few times, didn't they? But the rest of them, Sharu, etc., have always been
Xaru.
there for a long time.
Xaru guy is really good, man.
He is a
Xaru
very
is
good
really,
mid,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, they got silver in WCG. They had a good showing at ECC Poland. They've had a good showing everywhere they go. It's
a team with
actually
a
been
lot of up and
surprising
downs,
for me
though.
that they've not won a tournament yet, because myself and Joe, when I used to do the EU Nordic East and West stuff a long time ago, they were always good in that. So we knew it was only a matter of time before they shined.
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
this could be their tournament. Who knows? We're just waiting for the admins. So still, I can see them. The three of them with their heads together. This is serious.
Yep.
So who do you think then? Who's your money on?
My money on?
Yeah. I think EloHell.
I should be polite. So I better not say anything.
Politeness doesn't get you
fence-sitter.
anywhere.
Because I want something I shouldn't say. I want somebody out because of the whole behavior. But yeah.
Oh, because EloHell got a little bit cocky there, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can say it. You
I
can
mean,
say that.
a lot of people, like thousands and thousands and thousands of people want to reach where we are right now.
Exactly.
Want to reach their position, and if you're better than the opponent, why would you just go cocky in an offline tournament? It doesn't make any sense.
It's the
man.
youth.
Yeah, they
It
are.
doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it really pisses me off, honestly.
And
I would never do that.
The replay that we just saw, you said it when Skarner went in, he was like, oh, I can grab someone. I don't even know if they were being cocky or if they were trolling on purpose. I think they just got carried away in the moment. They were like, we are so far ahead.
Caught up
Let's
in the
go
moment.
in and kill someone. And that's just a mistake. That's not them being cocky.
But
that's just them being...
that's your solo queue mentality right there,
Yeah,
isn't
indeed.
it? That's not your I'm in a big
Right.
tournament event mentality.
It's like, I'm ahead. I'm gonna have the big play for the viewership, and
Yeah, I'm on the big screen.
Gonna be as famous as Ocelot.
I'm gonna be as famous as Xenon. And yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, absolutely.